What up everybody, it's BBKDRAGOON, and today we're revisiting a video I made about 2 years ago, asking if the Halo population can return. And this was at the end of Halo 4, this was the summer leading into the Master Chief Collection, and in this video I talk about why the player base during Halo 4 declined, and I brought up the numbers for Halo 3 and Reach and 4. And I wanted to find out what was needed from a Halo title in the future to have a really solid population at launch and then maintain that population. I wanted to look back at this video because we have some new information from Bravo about the Halo 5 population that is kind of encouraging, but we need to look at it with the proper lens, okay? And at the same time, did Halo 5 deliver on what I had hoped for 2 years ago when I was making this video outlining X, Y, and Z? This is the stuff I believe to be very critical and important for Halo's population to be very sustainable.
I'm not here to offend, I'm here to be straight up, blunt, and honest. We're talking numbers today. Why the Halo population is where it's at, where we've been in the past, and can we achieve what we have before? Can Halo's numbers rise up and build a thriving community once again? Because we can't deny the fact that more people playing the game we love is a good thing. It can only be beneficial for us in the long run. So I want to look at where the Halo peak population numbers are, why they are that way, and what needs to happen in Halo Master Chief Collection, or more importantly, Halo 5, to restore a larger community and playing base. So let's get right down to brass tacks. If you've never paid attention to the population numbers, all good. I don't think you should. And it doesn't need to be like the daily, oh, well, there's only a few people playing today, so I guess this isn't where all the cool kids are, I'm not going to be playing. That shouldn't really be your mindset. But we do want to look strategically at the numbers and figure out why the Halo population has reduced so drastically.
The reason people throw around the wrong numbers is because usually Halo 3 and Reach numbers that are quoted are 24 unique user counts. That's how many unique accounts were registered within a 24-hour period, whereas the Halo 4 data, it was peak population per day. It's not uniques over a 24 hours. It's the highest amount of players playing simultaneously. So when you compare the two, it's apples and oranges, and I just lose my mind when they're like, Halo 4 was 20,000 1 year after release. Well, that is peak concurrence at one time, not the amount of people registered over a 24-hour period. Now, if we jump way back in time to Bungie.net's web archives and way back in time to the Halo charts web archives, we can see that the Halo population after 1 year for 24-hour unique user counts was around 800,000, and that's averaged over 7 different samples. Additionally, Halo Reach's 1 year after release, 24-hour unique user count was around 600,000. Halo 4's is a little bit harder to get at, but it's around 60 to 80,000 for 24-hour unique user counts. Now, if you remember playing Halo 4 1 year after release, you probably only saw about 20,000 online because that was in-game the peak concurrent population count, not a 24-hour period of unique users. So now that we've gotten that fired out of the way, you can see a declining trend, obviously. It's not the massive main stage shooter that Halo 3 once was. Halo 3 just annihilated because not only was it one of the only dogs in town, it was a ridiculously solid game out of the box from launch, and that's really the theme that we need to look at here. It was a great game from launch in terms of the features that it offered. Now, I mentioned Bravo had some encouraging information that he wanted to share with us. Well, I'm Mufasa over on the Halo subreddit posted after the free play days promotion, Halo 5 has climbed to number 6 on the most played list, which is actually pretty cool to see. So Halo 5's short but effective free-to-play time seems to have worked, bumping it up in the popularity charts. Bravo responds with this, and I quote, "I do believe you'd be very pleasantly surprised with not only the number of players who jumped on during the free play period, holy moly, lots, by golly it worked, but also the amount of Halo 5 players each day and month. This isn't something we've talked about yet, but I'm rather happy to share that even before the free play period, Halo 5 has had the highest monthly active players for a Halo title since Halo 3. Also exciting and not yet discussed either is the increase that Halo 5 has seen in players each month over the past few months. We just got done looking at June numbers, which are once again higher than the previous month. As you can imagine, this is pretty darn exciting to see, and this thread seemed like an appropriate place to share this news for the first time. I have to get approval from the powers that be to say more in terms of specifics, but you should rest assured that together, we're quite a strong army, end quote. So let's look at that one more time. Halo 5 has had the highest monthly active players for a Halo title since Halo 3. Well, I can't really look too much into this because we don't know what Halo Reach's monthly actives were or Halo 4's. We could only try and infer or speculate. I mean, what does the statistic actually measure? Is it looking at repeat users? The encouraging bit of the post is that Halo 5 is seeing increased population month to month, and that the numbers are not bad, and that they're maybe good enough for them to reveal to us what they actually are. That's great. That's pretty cool. And again, I don't want to read too much into this because we don't have enough details to really go, oh yeah, bust out the kazoo and fireworks, baby, we back. No, we really are looking at those high watermarks set by a Halo 3 title, and how can we get back to those super impressive numbers? And it is possible. I completely believe it's possible. But how? You know, the real question is, yes, this is encouraging. It's cool to see people coming back and playing more, but could it be better? And how? What needs to be in the game? And how can we have a big population and have it sustained? Let's jump back in time and take a look at my video from a couple years ago.
Now, there's a few issues that still remain. CSR is not a successful ranking system. It's not something that players really see a lot of value in comparison with Halo 3 or even Arena from Reach, which was a highly contested thing, let me tell you. So ultimately, you're just looking at a series of unfortunate events that happened one after another. 6 months is too long to fix the actual in-game balance that we're frustrating folks. Had the title update, the turbo patch update happened in December, I would guarantee you we'd be looking at far larger numbers than now. Ultimately, though, Halo 4 was not built with 3 to 4 years of longevity in mind, and Halo 5 was hot on the production cycle directly after Halo 4. They put what resources they could towards fixing Halo 4 in the time frame that they felt appropriate, and that's okay. The Halo population shouldn't matter to you if you enjoy the game or not, but it's good to look at these things and understand clearly why we are where we are at. Now, looking forward at Halo 5, the hope is that Bravo, Ghost Yami, and the new hires that they've made, and the new direction it seems that the company has taken in terms of their outward PR will be beneficial. Halo 4 seemed like, trust us, we're trying a new breed of Halo, and it's the best way possible. Well, after about 6 months, that started to change, and they interacted with the community more. We saw more settings and reactionary changes to the game based upon our feedback. It took too long, that's obvious, and the DLCs were not targeted specifically to address the things that should have been addressed first. Those are your big issues. If you get a ranking system in-game that's proper, like the older Halos, you'll see improved population support. If you see something like a clan system from Halo 2 coming back, you're going to see a higher population base. Ultimately, there should be more rewards for long-term players. Halo Reach, I put hundreds of hours into. The credit grinds were huge and long, but that made them rewarding. When I saw somebody with the lightning effect, or if I saw somebody with an incredible armor set, I knew how much time and effort it took to actually get that. So in answer to the question, can Halo's population ever achieve what it did in the past? And the answer is absolutely. It depends entirely, though, on first impressions and the long-term benefit of the game. If that game features a ranking system that's good, visible in-game, and encourages players to play within it, you want to actually achieve those ranks, then yeah, you're going to see a better benefit. You want to have a good balanced state of the game. You want to see the first few months the developer reacting quickly and in a timely manner to the concerns of the player base. If there's a balance error, it should be fixed quickly, not in 6 months down the road. Are the DLCs going to be targeted at the right player base? Not big team battle stuff when the majority of your players are 4v4 players. If the answer is yes, then you're going to see improved sustainability. Finally, you ultimately need to have the right people in the right places and a game that feels like it's well cared for. Seeing players like Bravo and Ghost at 343, I think we're already on the right track. The PR has seemed to have shifted to more about player concerns rather than this is our new Halo, our new brand, we can't wait for you to try it. Now, if you think we're going to return to Halo 3 numbers, that's a little bit hopeful in my opinion, but we can still achieve a very sustainable and healthy player base as long as the requirements outlined in this video are met and exceeded, which would be really awesome. I wouldn't look to the Halo Master Chief Collection to restore the population to a really high rate. It's mainly going to be for fans of the series already. But come Halo 5, I think we have a very bright future, everyone. The takeaway from this video is, though, to play games that you enjoy regardless of the population. I'm a diehard Halo fan who'd be playing if there were 200 people on Halo right now. I enjoy the title, so I play it. but it's also important, in my opinion, to look at how we've gotten where we've gotten so that we can improve in the future as a brand, as a community, and ultimately as a player base.
So the key line there is first impressions. I truly believe, and I have for years, that the key to success with a strong population in Halo is that the Halo title needs to release with all of the features and the playlists that we've come to expect, and then build upon that. You know, when we looked at Halo 4, it released unfinished in many ways and took a long time for them to complete. Halo 5, it's a pretty similar story, missing BTB, Forge, Infection, Firefight, and those things added over time. It's becoming a much more complete, fun package, but I really believe on launch you need to have, for a successful population that stays with the game on launch, a solid campaign with tons of potential for replayability, campaign scoring at launch, and theater. Those were elements that just made previous Halo games, especially Halo 3, I'm really looking at that as the high watermark here. It made it such a enjoyable long-term experience. I truly believe split screen needs to be in Halo games at launch. It's a key identifying principle of the game. Firefight needs to be there on launch. A working file share needs to be there on launch. A theater mode that has a lot of the bugs resolved. Now, to 343's credit, I use the theater mode a lot for my replay review series, and I've had some replays that are fairly buggy, and I've actually had 343 devs say to me, yo, I saw the bugs, I'm going to be working on that and trying to resolve those things. So to have that level of interaction is fantastic, but it would be great on launch if we could have those kinks worked out. And here's the one that matters most to me, that the multiplayer on launch goes out with a robust set of playlists, the playlists that Halo players have come to expect over the years. Action Sack, Big Team Battle, Doubles, Firefight, Griffball, Infection, Multi-Team, Rumble Pit, Social Slayer, Team Snipers, Objective, and SWAT. There might be one or two that I missed, but these are all core Halo playlists, and none of them should ever be relegated to a rotational special event that comes and goes. There are players that find identity in these playlists, players who truly relate to them. And the argument of, well, rotational playlists are needed to actually consolidate the population. We don't have a big enough population to support having 12 or 13 playlists, BBK. That's garbage, dude. That is absolutely, I just can't, it makes me mad, because if what Bravo says is true, and this is the strongest population that we've had monthly since Halo 3, then we very well have enough people to support those playlists. And it goes further than that. Let's say Griffball's really unpopular, and maybe only 1,000 people per week are playing that playlist. Let those 1,000 people keep playing that playlist. It's an important playlist for them. It's something that gives them a sense of identity, something they relate to. To them, that is Halo. To me, Doubles and Snipers are things that are so important to me, and I have loved them for years and years, and when they are relegated to a rotational special event, it drives me up a wall. What is this, like 1950s radio? Up next, we're gonna have a team objective in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned, because we may be bringing back Action Sec. One may never know. Look, I don't have an issue with rotating playlists on the whole if they're for special events. Playlists that they're just testing out or doing something special with, like the Valentine's Doubles. That was really cool. But that list I showed should not ever change. Those are game types that need to be in the game at launch and forever through its life cycle. I don't want to get into the ranked versus social distinction in this video, because that's not what it's about, and we could do an entire 20-minute discussion on that. Ranked and social is something I believe in. I love the way Halo 3 handled it. But regardless, I want to see that list of playlists in the game at launch and continuing through its life cycle. So again, if you see a Halo game releasing with campaign, good scoring in theater, split screen, firefight on launch, working file share, a theater mode that has the bugs resolved, and a multiplayer with a robust set of playlists, all that stuff on launch, then you are going to have a very strong Halo game. And then your content updates can build upon it. You deliver a package of what people expect from a Halo game, and then you add on to it. I've enjoyed the content updates. I really have, and I think they've gone above and beyond in some ways, and in other ways, I think they've been filling in the gaps of things that should have been there. Big Team Battle should have been there. Forge, it's incredible. You guys did a great job. But if you could have that in at launch and then continue building on it, players are going to be happier. Infection, you did a great job. It should have been there on launch. I'm really thankful for the content updates, and they have made the game better. My hope is that on launch, though, key features and modes are there, and that the content updates get to just build on and improve the game further without having to add critical things back in. It doesn't mean I'm ungrateful for the content updates, but you can be thankful for it, happy that it happened, and still say to them, that's great. Please have BTB in the game at launch, and Infection in the game at launch, and Firefight in the game at launch. You can still say that. You know, right now, I'm kind of frustrated because, you know, I voiced my feedback about Halo 5 in this, and this video, and I've done it in others, but those are the primary ones where I'd really just dive into it, and what I've said is, Halo 5 has an uphill battle. Yet again, time will tell how this Halo turns out, just like Halo 4, which evolved and became something really, really great, but it took a while. You know, with free maps on the way, BTB on the way, Forge coming down the pipeline, things are looking pretty good, and there's stuff to look forward to. But I'm just speaking for the perspective of wanting to see the franchise return to its glory days. And that only occurs if we not only grow, but sustain that population. Popularity on sites like Twitch and YouTube do matter as they afford more opportunities as the community grows. So inwardly, I'm pretty conflicted about Halo 5. In many ways, my expectations were exceeded with the gameplay dedicated server spec mode. But in other ways, I'm pretty disappointed. The campaign's real short, so many features missing. And please, we gotta just get unranked game modes into Halo 5. Not just those weekend playlists. I'm glad you guys are doing rotating weekend playlists, but Team Snipers, Doubles, Multi-Team Action Sack, those playlists have earned a right in Halo. They've been here long enough, they've shown they're worthy. They shouldn't have to make it in through some weekend voting system. That is, the upward battle Halo 5 faces. They've got a lot to add over the course of the next few months, and the faster they do it, the better. And I don't mean this to be crazy negative. Halo 5 is a great starting point. It just feels like it could have been so much more. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Still enjoying it, still tip videos to come, but we really are just going to have to see how Halo 5 plays out. I'm interested, you know, it's another story to follow in terms of when and what's coming to the game. And like I said, I just hope it's really quick. I think over the last few weeks, larger Halo channels get characterized as never ever giving negative or critical feedback about the game. That really frustrates me because I've voiced my opinion and said critical feedback in Halo 5, in the Master Chief Collection, all throughout during Halo 4, during Halo Reach. But that's not the backbone of my channel. I don't make videos all the time about expectations and community concerns. I primarily make tip videos. My channel, from its very core, from its inception, I wanted it to be about helping players to improve. So I make a lot of tip videos. In many ways, I did this because when I originally got into YouTube and liked watching it, I was going through the hardest times of my entire life. It was really rough. And it was very helpful to come home in the evening and be able to watch 30 or 40 minutes of YouTube. And to see, oh, how to get better at Reach. That's pretty cool. I like that game. I want to learn how to get better. Or how to get better at XYZ game. It was escapism. It allowed me to not have to spend 24/7 in those hard times, but to have a mini escape and a positive outlet. And I wanted to share that with others. I wanted to give other people going through rough times a place to relax and enjoy and break away from the struggle. That's why I don't talk about these things in every single video, man. And I have faith that the next Halo title is going to improve upon where we've come. Because you know what? I think they did a pretty darn good job with Halo 5. Are there imperfections? Are there problems? Absolutely. But for the first time in years, we're seeing an upward slope in the population. We're seeing growth of YouTube channels. We're seeing really strong numbers across the board on YouTube and a new budding, growing scene. You know how encouraging that is? I watched so many of my YouTube buddies end their channels during Halo 4. and then it become a barren wasteland during the Master Chief Collection. Rightfully so. It was very hard to make content for that game since it didn't work. But to see the scene grow again and to see that the community is building up together, this is our chance. Yes, we can voice our feedback. And yes, hopefully it will have an impact on the next game. Constructive criticism, by definition, is the process of offering valid and well-reasoned opinions about the work of others, usually involving both positive and negative comments, in a friendly manner rather than an oppositional one. The purpose of constructive criticism is to improve the outcome. When we voice ourselves, keep that in mind. Thanks guys for watching. If you liked this video, please let me know. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. It's my 2 cents on the issue, and I think that the Halo population can absolutely return. But on launch, we gotta come out strong. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.